Hey everybody, it's Sam with Freedom Roofing and Contracting. Just wanted to hop on here quickly and go over a couple of things that might help you understand pricing for roofing contractors. I often get homeowners that are asking about pricing and seeing if there's quote unquote wiggle room or seeing if there are discounts available and in general trying to get the pricing for the roofing services down. So most of the time what you need to decide on is if you want price or quality. Because you can't have a good job done for a cheap price. Not usually. It's the difference between going to McDonald's and getting a Big Mac or going to Vic and Anthony's and getting a steak. So I know that some of you are thinking, oh, I've heard this before, and I'm sure you have. But in the roofing industry, it's very common practice for roofing contractors to be pretty desperate. And the reason for that is the bar of entry in the roofing industry is very low. So you can be a roofing company without any prerequisites. So you can jump in a truck, put some signs on it, and claim to be a roofer with no training at all. And you can even start a whole company based on that and hire people if you do well and grow from there. So it's really important that you understand the dynamics of the roofing industry in the state of Texas. This may apply to other states as well, but right now we're talking about the state of Texas. So in most industries, the average net profit on any purchase is usually between 5% and 25%, depending on the industry. Retail is closer to 5%, and then other industries such as automobile manufacturing is closer to 10 to 15%. Just the profit margin ranges per industry. In the roofing industry, growing up in the family roofing company, we in general would have a profit margin of about 3 to 5%, which is really low, until we understood the pricing and how it affected the bottom line and the company's growth as is related to warranties and stuff like that. So we eventually got a warranty department because we had so many jobs and so many previous customers. We'd have a couple of leaks here and there, and we found it necessary to create a warranty department and a repair department, different segments of the company that could handle those situations with more efficiency. So what became obvious pretty quickly was that what's obvious in many industries that have warranties, it's that you need a budget for those warranty calls, or those, say in retail, somebody returning some clothes because they don't like it. So what we discovered was we were not budgeting enough for those warranties. And of course, you don't need to bill double the amount just on every job in case you have to replace every single roof you've ever done. Of course, that's not the way it works. But what you find out is that there is a percentage of roofs, even if it's as low as 0.1%, or even if it's really, really low, it's still necessary to budget a little bit in for warranties and callbacks, stuff like that. So when you ask a roofing company to get a lower price, you have to keep in mind, because the industry is in the state that it is, it's a good idea for you to bear in mind that company, if they're willing to reduce their price, then as willing as they are to reduce their price, they will be equally unwilling or incapable of coming out to take care of their warranties. So it's just like the price versus quality. If you want a cheap price, you're not going to get great quality. It's the same thing. If they are willing to lower the price, then the contractor will be unwilling to come out for the warranty. And you don't know how many homeowners that I've spoken to where I ask, do you know who installed the roof? And it's only been 5 years, and they're like, couldn't really tell you. And the reason for that is it's not memorable. It's a lot different from the automobile industry. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Toyota, Honda, right? Those are the top brands, and there's very few others in the industry. Now, I'm not suggesting that we need to lock down the industry that much or monopolize it or anything like that, but what I am saying is, when you, the homeowner, are talking to your contractor about pricing, bear in mind that those that are more expensive are the ones that are set up for long-term success, and those that are cheaper are the ones that are going to become a statistic. So in the roofing industry, the average lifespan of a contractor, there is some debate but most statistics, most reports generally put that lifespan at between 3 and 6 years at most. And when you consider that most roofing companies offer a minimum of 5-year warranty, most are starting to do a 10-year warranty, and some have even switched to a lifetime labor warranty. When you consider that fact, then a 3 to 6 year lifespan does not sound very appealing, because most roofs are supposed to last at least 20 years or so, 15 to 20, 25. So just remember, when you are trying to get your roof replaced, and it's a cash job, or you want to talk about pricing, and you're worried that contractor may be charging too much, just understand that most contractors, if they know what they're doing and they're set up for long-term success, all great contractors are going to charge more than average. They will be higher than the average contractor. And the reason why is because the average contractor, being that the bar of entry in roofing is so low, the average contractor has no idea how to price out a job in order to sustain themselves. So the reason why Freedom Roofing's pricing is going to be higher than your average pricing is because we are setting ourselves up for long-term success. We are not going to bid our projects at a rate that is so low that it will not be sustainable in the future. Freedom Roofing also does other work, foundational work and charity work, and so we have a mission that's greater than just roofing, and we invite you to be part of that. And just understand, when that price comes in and it's a little bit higher than most, the reason for that is because we're into the top tier, the top echelon of roofing contractors in Texas. And always keep in mind that barrier of entry, that bar of entry, is very, very low in roofing. So, I have a frequent situations where I'll price a project out, and I'll be competing against somebody who is putting in a price that is lower than the cost for me, for Freedom Roofing. So that should tell you something about where these other contractors may be getting the materials from, or what type of crew that is willing to do the work for half price. It either tells you they're getting cheaper materials. They may say it's the same materials, but they buy them from a B-level distributor that does not have warranties on that product. They may tell you there's warranties, but there's not. And then the labor itself may be much more of the variety that will cut corners, and nail placement may be an issue, speed, you go over things that you shouldn't, you don't clean the deck properly, all those little things. And then if it's not labor or materials that they're saving on, then it's definitely they are not making enough money themselves on the project to sustain. So there are a lot of contractors out there that are one-man shows. Some people call them chucking a truck, but some of them are a little bit better than that. Maybe it's one guy who's been doing it for about 5 years or something. But the thing to remember about that is it's just one man. So he may be making enough money to support himself, but it's one man and one truck. And if that man goes down, there is no company. So that's something to remember. A bigger company, a company that charges appropriately, not price gouging, of course. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about charging appropriately. That type of company will have the support, the staff they need to be redundant. If there is an issue with one staff member, there will be another one that can pick up that load and assist. So you, the homeowner, won't bear the brunt of that associate going down in that company. So just some things to remember. The way most contractors bid out a job, they calculate what their cost for labor will be, and then they calculate what their cost for materials will be, and then they'll put that number together, and then they'll set a multiplier against that number for what they call margin. So that margin will include maybe paying a sales rep, paying the gas card that the truck uses to get to and from appointments, paying the lights at the office, paying for marketing stuff, maybe a wrap on the car, things like that, but it's a percentage base. So when somebody says they multiply it by 50%, you say take labor and materials and then multiply by 1.5, and then you get your contract price. So if labor and materials is say labor and materials are $10,000, and then the contractor would add $5,000 to that to make it a $15,000 contract. And then that, $1,000 of that goes to the overhead of the company. $2,000 of it goes to the sales contractor for making that job, for selling that job and handling and managing the project. And then $2,000 of it goes towards the company profit, which means that's reinvested into the warranty department, repairs department, and then going to make sure that the client experience like yours is super great for everybody. So $10,000 in cost, $5,000 in what we call margin, but the net of that ends up being a lot closer to, say, $1,000 or something like that, maybe even $500, and that's where we get that 5% or 10% net profit number. So there's all these hidden costs, and any company that's doing it right, any company that has redundancy, has an office, has vehicles, multiple, not just one, and has gas cards and responsibilities like that they pay for to make their employees happy, those contracting firms in general have a lot more hidden expenses. So when you hear that another contractor come by and it's just one guy and that's the entire company, is just one person, their price is more likely to come in at labor and materials, which is $10,000 plus maybe $1,000, and that's about it. So that's $11,000, and that owner will pay a little gas and pay whatever small costs he might have, but he doesn't have an office, so he doesn't have to pay for that. And so that $900 or so is going to go straight to him to pay his house note, his own personal car note, stuff like that. So he can support himself off 1, 2, maybe 3 jobs a month, whereas a bigger company will need 10 to 15 of those jobs per month to keep themselves going. So just a lot of differences in roofing contractors in Texas. And I hope this video has helped you guys, because my mission is to make sure that homeowners know exactly what they're looking at when they have 5 different bids or 2 or 3 different contracts in front of them, and they all look different and they have different words, and one's $15,000, one's $12,000, one's $10,000, and the $15,000 one is saying, well, I don't know how that $10,000 guy is going to do the job, and the $10,000 guy is saying, man, that $15,000 guy is nuts. Who needs $15,000? My cost is $8,000, and the $15,000 guy is like, no, $10,000 is my cost. Well, the reason those discrepancies exist is just different ways of coming to that pricing. Companies structured differently. And then core values. One company wants to build out that warranty department to make sure they honor their warranties and have integrity. The other contractor is just gonna, quote unquote, deal with it as it comes and hope for the best and cross that bridge when they get there. So it's all about you. Do you, what is your preference? If you own a very small home and maybe it's a rental home and you want a very, very cheap roof and you don't care if it leaks in the next 2 or 3 years, then go with that lowest price and you'll get some sort of a roof covering. It may leak a couple times. Hopefully they come out and fix it. If not, you just go find another contractor to slap some tar on it and keep it going. But what we find is the best value is, of course, not doing it that way, especially if you're getting a new roof. Why pay thousands of dollars for a product that you can't quite believe in and you can't quite trust, and when a hurricane comes, you're kind of freaking out about it, right? So definitely what we advise is to go with the more expensive contractor. Almost always, almost in every scenario, go with an average or better roofing contractor, especially in Texas, and that's how you're going to be almost guaranteed that you're with a contractor that is doing a good job. Because great contractors that are set up for the long term, are not going to be bidding projects at the lowest rate. You can't get both. You can't have price and quality. It's like getting a free lunch. There is no such thing as a free lunch. There's always something attached, an expectation or a presentation while you're eating that lunch, or maybe they're looking for advice, right, on the free lunches. So same thing in the contracting world. You can't get both price and quality. If you want a very low price, then you're going to end up with less quality, a less quality roof. And if you want fantastic quality, great materials, and an excellent installation job, then you're not going to get a cheap price. So what we believe in is the best value, and that's what you should remember moving into this purchase. And if you can't afford it, or you don't want to put all that money down in cash right now, most great roofing contractors will have financing options for you, payment options, to push that out until you get your tax return, or you get a bonus from your company, or just to ease the burden of that financial hit when you find out you do need that new roof. So anyway, I hope this helps. The goal of this channel is to help our homeowners be aware and be informed when making your contractor decision. So feel free to reach out to us for more information. Of course, we always appreciate a like, certainly a subscription. So like or subscribe, and then if you have a question, post in the comments below. Also, our contact information is in the description box down below, and feel free to reach out to us via email if you have further questions. Doesn't matter where you're at. Of course, we do serve the greater Houston area, but doesn't matter where you're at. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer for you. And I hope this video has helped shed some light on the pricing of Texas roofing contractors. Thank you all for watching, and we look forward to helping you with your project.